I've wanted to do a daily video for a while now. I don't know why. I mean, I kind of know why I have this obsession, but there are reasons that I don't know exactly why. There are reasons that could be the reason why. But it's always really been something I've wanted to do, like to put out something every single day, a daily video, a daily upload. And not too long ago, my dad, he was like, "Well, why don't you just?" I was telling him about this, and he was like, "Well, why don't you just, upload one when you want? Why don't you just make one when you have an idea? Why don't you just make one when you want to?" And I don't know. I didn't really know what to say. It's this thing that I want. I think part of it's the challenge. I've just tried so many times, and it's really hard to keep up that rhythm. And I think there's an aspect to that which is really immature on my part. It's like, it's kind of like really wanting to make a girl your girlfriend just because she rejects you a bunch of times. It's like, yeah, you could, but it's like you could also just find someone who you really connect with from the beginning. Like, you don't have to try so hard all the time, There's something really immature in that need to convince someone that you're worth something. In the same way, it's like kind of immature for me to like convince myself that I can make a video every day. It's like you could just not, like, why. But there's something in that I've always thought was really, I don't know, there's something about that constraint. There's something about that focus that, all right, you've got one day, you got to make something, you got to put something out. That I've always, I don't know, there's something magical about that. When there's no time limit, when you just have like infinite days, it's like years can go by without doing anything. And it's like anything that can be done in 2 weeks can be done in 13 days. Anything that can be done in 13 days can be done in a week. Anything that can be done in a week can be done in 3 days, and anything that can be done in 3 days can be done in a day. It's a bit of an exaggeration, but, I've always been someone who, like, whenever the deadline is, I'll just do it the day before. Like, if I have an essay due on Friday, I'll just do it on Thursday. So it's like if I set myself any sort of goal for, like, make one video a week, I'll just make it the day before it's due, like, in my head. And so it's like, if I can make a video in a day, like, why not do it every day? I think there's just something, I don't know, something imperfect, something just so perfect about forcing yourself to create one thing, forcing yourself to think about one thing every day, forcing yourself to find an angle on something every day, forcing yourself to, just kind of be there. I used to watch quite a bit of YouTube, and these weren't people who were doing it just as like their hobby, just something they wanted to do. It's like a creative outlet. They were like, they got paid to do this. This was like their job, and they'd often go like weeks or like a long time without posting anything. I was kind of like, you create this connection with someone that's unique, sort of like YouTube connection where they're like your friend, but you don't have to actually talk. You can just listen to them. It's like the perfect. It's the ideal. It's the future of the world. And when you create that sort of loop, that sort of bond, that sort of thing that you sort of come to at the end of the day, it's like, I remember thinking like, damn, like, this is your job and you had 24 hours and you couldn't make a 5-minute video, like what were you like? And I think what's special about YouTube is how, like, informal it is, and how it is really more about like touching base and having that connection and having sort of an ongoing dialogue rather than just like making a perfectly edited video that takes like months of production and like, that's for like, I feel like there's definitely a vanity component to it as well. I know that the more consistent I am with it, the more likely this channel is to be a success, and that kind of makes me feel, I don't know, there's a weakness to that, If I was like a complete boss, if I was a man, I wouldn't need people to validate me to watch my videos. I could just be like just like a stoic Hemingway that just has no need for the validation of the outside world. That just looks at other people and laughs. I don't quite have that. I'm a little, I'm soft. Like most people. I think most people are soft. But I don't want to be soft. It's such a gross way to live, That said, there is a part of me that is soft and wants validation. It would be cool if people watch these videos and I do also know that, you know, if I were to make a video every day, it would probably be the highest probability of the channel being a success. But I just really like making videos. I just love like thinking of the idea, like what's it gonna be about. And I love like the act of filming. It feels like so performative. You know, like I did theater for like 2 years. You know, and I love that. Just like being in front of a crowd and a stage and just like being the center of attention, just like performing, you know. I don't know why I stopped doing it. I was always like, man, I should have kept going. I should have gone back to that, and I still could. You know, I still could be the next Leonardo DiCaprio, or just, you know, just the next guy in some cast of people in some small little play in some small little theater where there's like 15 people in the audience. It's crazy though when you think about it. Like, you know, 100 views on a YouTube video is like nothing, right? But if you imagine 100 people and an audience and an auditorium and a little theater, 100 people, that's packed. If it's small enough, it's very packed. It's crazy, like, you know, people get like people get like 1 million views on a video. And I feel like that's kind of like standard for like a popular channel. And it's like, if you imagine those people packed into like the biggest football stadium in the United States, it's probably only a bit more than 100,000. It's like 10 of those just full of people. It's crazy how online the proportion, like those numbers, you can't really grasp the impact of that, how many it is, right? Even like 15. If I was like a busker, like out in the streets playing my guitar, if there were 15 people watching, that'd be a crowd. That'd be a lot of people. But 15 views on a YouTube video. You gotta stop. You gotta stop crying. Is there a way to turn that light off? Stop. Hey guys. No idea what I was talking about.